and find a very nice, comfortable seat on your mat. Find a nice, long, tall spine. Maybe move the flesh of your sit bones away so your sit bones can really root onto the ground. And then we can just rest our palms face down on our knees to kind of ground in. And then if you're comfortable, you can close your eyes and start to turn your attention inward. So as we wind down from our day and start this class, we just want to start by paying attention to our breath. You don't need to change it any way, just notice it. Notice how your inhales feel as your chest and ribs and belly rise as they fill with air. And notice as your exhales, feel your belly, ribs, and chest return. You can notice if your breath feels shallow or maybe it feels very deep and relaxed. Both are okay. We're just noticing our breath here. The technique of noticing your breath is a pranayama technique or a breathwork technique called apajapa, which I just love so much because you don't need to be on your mat to do it. You can be at work, you can be driving, you can be having a heated conversation with someone you're in a relationship with. You can always come back to your breath when you need to ground in just a little bit. As you continue breathing and grounding into your space, I want to share a little bit of a poem by Claudia Cummins, and it's called All of This. It reads, "For at least a few moments of each day, may you let your story, your gripes and worries and melodramas melt away completely. May you rest back and breathe, relinquishing your tight hold on who you think you are." So maybe in this 30-minute practice, we start to notice if any stories or melodramas come up for us, if we have anything playing in our mind on repeat, and maybe we can start to let those go while we're on our mats here. Now we'll start to link our breath to movement. On an inhale, lift your arms up above your head. Letting your shoulders glide down your back. On an exhale, plant your right palm to the mat and reach your left arm up over your shoulder, getting a nice stretch through your left side body. Make sure both of your hip points are rooted into your mat as you breathe deeply into your left rib cage, opening your ribs like an accordion with your breath. On your next inhale, return to center, lifting both arms above your head. And on an exhale, lower your left hand to meet your mat and lift your right arm up and over to the side. Spiral your rib cage up toward the ceiling and breathe deeply into your ribs. Notice if your right shoulder has crept up a little bit towards your ear, and just let it soften down again. On your next inhale, return to center, and you can bring your palms back to your knees. We'll find our way to tabletop facing the front of our mat. So into all fours. And in your all fours, you'll want your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees. From here, we'll just start to introduce some movement that feels good. So maybe you want to rock back and then forward, moving your hips and getting a little bit of a stretch in your wrists. Or maybe circles feel good. Letting your whole body sway in a circle. Still breathing. Slow inhales through the nose and complete exhales. You can go ahead and reverse your circle if you've taken the circle option. Breathing as you move slowly, just warming up. We can find stillness in our tabletop. And on an inhale, lift your tailbone up and broaden your chest as your belly falls toward the mat. As you exhale, round your spine up toward the ceiling and let your head hang long between your arms. You can move on your own breath, inhaling into cow, finding length through your upper back, exhaling into cat, lengthening through your low back. And we'll do a few rounds here. Inhaling and exhaling. Just starting to warm up the spine. On your next inhale, return to a center and stillness in your tabletop. And then bring your big toes to touch and your knees about as wide as your mat. And you can press back into child's pose with your seat on your heels. You can extend your arms long if that feels good, or you can have a slight bend in them so it's not so extreme in your shoulders. You can rest your forehead on the mat and just breathe here. Starting to open up our hips. The rest of the class will follow on this hip opening theme. On an inhale, let's rise back to tabletop. And as you're ready, tuck your toes and slowly push back into down dog, keeping your knees bent. So it's not too much on the hamstrings for the first down dog of the day. You can slowly start to pedal through your legs. And you can take your arms just slightly wider than shoulder width to give yourself more space through your shoulders. Let your head hang long between your biceps. As you're ready, on an inhale, lift your right leg toward the sky, keeping your hips square to the mat. And on an exhale, lean forward, pull your knee up and in, and then place it between your hands, using your hand as an assist if you need to. Yeah. And then untuck your toes, and you can lower your back leg. Bring your hands to your thigh, and on an inhale, lift your arms up. And an exhale, you can go ahead and cactus your arms if that feels okay, kind of like goalposts, just so there's less tension in your shoulders. Think about squeezing your inner thighs together so you're not sinking too much into your right hip, but still enjoying a nice stretch in your left hip flexor. Breathe deeply and exhale completely through your nose. Bring your hands to frame your foot at the top of the mat. And go ahead and walk around to the side so that your left leg is now parallel to the back edge of your mat, and extend your right leg. Inhale your arms to a T, and exhale, go ahead and just place your right hand on your right thigh and side bend to the right, extending your left arm up and over your head. Again, breathe deeply into your left rib cage. Glide your shoulder blades down your back, And think about finding length through your side body. Inhale, arms to a T. You can rise up to center. And then plant your hands in front of you and walk your hands back up to the front of the mat to frame your foot. Low lunge. Good. Plant your hands. Go ahead and tuck your toes and lift back up to down dog. We'll take one breath here. Inhaling and exhaling. On an inhale, roll forward to plank pose. Drop your knees and slowly lower to the ground in one straight line. Inhale, press up to cobra with your palms under your shoulders. Exhale, lower to the ground. Inhale, push up through tabletop, tuck your toes, and land in down dog. Inhaling here and breathing out completely. On an inhale, lift your left leg toward the sky, keeping your hips square to the mat. And on an exhale, lean forward, pull your knee in using those abs, and then help your leg through between your hands. Drop your right knee and untuck your toes. And you can bring your hands to the top of your thigh. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, cactus arms. Shoulders draw down away from your ears. Inner thighs squeeze together and front ribs knit in. And of course, we breathe. Bring your hands down to frame your foot and walk around to your right. So now your right shin is parallel to the back edge of your mat. And your left leg is straight with your foot planted on the ground. You can inhale, arms to a T, find length. Exhale, bring your left hand to your thigh, or maybe your shin, whatever feels comfortable, just avoiding your knee joint here. Bring your right arm up and over your head, and enjoy that good stretch on your right side. You can gaze up if that's comfortable, but really look wherever is best for your neck. Inhale, you can press up to center, arms to a T, and then plant your hands in front of you and walk your hands around to frame your foot at the top of your mat. Push into your hands, tuck your back toe, and then lift back into down dog. Here, you can look at your hands, bend your knees, and take as many steps as you need to for your feet to meet your hands at the top of your mat. Make sure your feet are about hip width apart, which is 2 fists wide. Inhale here, and on an exhale, lift up into chair pose. So in chair pose, take a quick peek at your feet. Make sure you can see your toes, and if not, shift your weight a little more back in your heels. Option here to take goalpost arms to take any tension out of the shoulders. Breathe here. One more inhale. One more exhale. On an inhale, straighten your legs and dive forward into a forward fold. Knees can be as bent as they need to be. Inhale, half lift with your spine pressing into your shins. And exhale, fold forward. Step back into plank pose. Lower your knees to the mat, untuck your toes, and lower to the mat in one straight line. Inhale, lift into cobra. pressing your palms under your shoulders. Exhale, lower to the mat. Inhale, push up through tabletop, and we'll find ourselves in down dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, pull it through so it lands between your hands at the front of the mat. Spiral your left heel down so that your left foot is parallel to the back edge of your mat, and check that your right heel is in line with your left arch. When you're ready, inhale to spiral your arms up, warrior two. Bend deeply into your right leg and push energy through the outer edge of your back foot. Gaze softly over your right middle finger and relax your shoulders down your back. Bring your right forearm to your right upper thigh and lift your left arm up and over your body. In side angle, we again want length through both side waists. Both our left ribs and our right ribs are long. Inhale, return to warrior two. And exhale, glide your left hand down your left thigh, reversing your warrior, and bending a smidge deeper into your front knee, if that feels okay. Inhale, warrior two, and exhale, cartwheel your hands down to frame your foot, and step your left foot in to meet your right at the top of the mat. Find your feet hip width apart, and an inhale, lift up into chair pose. Again, check that you can see your toes. Think about finding length through your low back, and option to cactus the arms. In chair pose, I like to remind myself that tough times don't last, they're only temporary, and we can breathe through them. Inhale, straighten your legs. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, press into your shins, half lift. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step back into plank pose. Lower your knees, untuck your toes, and bring yourself down to the mat. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower. Inhale, push yourself up through plank pose and down dog. Slow inhale, slow exhale. Inhale, left leg lifts, and pull it up and through, planting it between your hands. Spiral your right heel down, again checking for that front heel to back arch alignment. And on an inhale, cartwheel your arms up. Take a look at your front knee and just see if it's tracking more toward the pinky edge side of your foot. You want it going slightly outward. Again, send energy through your back leg and gaze softly over your left middle finger. The lower body is strong, the upper body is soft. Inhale, bring your left forearm to your left thigh. And on an exhale, stretch it over. Reaching for the corner where the ceiling meets the floor. The ceiling meets the wall. Relax your right shoulder down away from your ear. Inhale, lift back into warrior two. And exhale, glide your right hand down your right thigh, reversing your warrior. Breathe in to your left rib cage, finding length. On an inhale, you can return to warrior two. And an exhale, you'll cartwheel your arms down to frame your foot, and step your right foot in to meet your left, at the top of the mat. Inhale and sink into your last chair pose of the day. See if you can bend down about 1 inch lower. One more inhale, one more exhale. Inhale, straighten your legs, dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, press into your shins, spine is long. Exhale, fold. Lighten your hands, step your feet back into plank pose, lower your knees, and drop down to the floor with control. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower completely. Inhale, press up through tabletop, tuck your toes, and find yourself in down dog. Last down dog of the day, find any movement that feels especially juicy. Maybe pedaling through your knees, maybe bending and then straightening both legs. On an inhale, look up towards your hand, bend your knees, and take as many steps as you need to the top of the mat. Here, we're just gonna take a juicy forward fold. Let your head hang heavy. You can clasp opposite elbows, bend your knees deeply, and sway side to side. Let your neck be long, no tension in your neck at all. If you take an opposite elbows, go ahead and switch the grip. When you're ready, find stillness in your forward fold. Plant your hands to the mat, bend your knees, and then just work your way back to seated. Okay. You can face the long edge of your mat. Bring your left knee into your right inner thigh and extend your right leg long. Flex through all 5 toes of your right foot so they all point up toward the ceiling, and firm your thigh muscles into your mat. On an inhale, arms lift, finding length. Exhale, twist your upper body towards your thigh. Inhale, grow even taller, and exhale, hinge forward at your hips, placing your hands on the mat. Each inhale, you find a little bit more space in your spine, and each exhale, you might fold a little bit deeper. I like to think of kind of sliding my hands toward me along the mat to pull myself a little closer toward my leg. On your next inhale, slowly press yourself upright, and then gently guide your legs in, pulling your right leg into your left thigh and extending your left leg long. Again, active through your left leg, pressing your bones into your mat, extending through your toes. Inhaling, your arms lift. Exhaling, finding rotation. Inhaling, growing even longer. And exhaling, hinging from the hips, yearning to keep a long spine. Using your hands to glide your shoulders down your back as you might pull yourself a little deeper into your fold. On your next inhale, slowly press yourself back upright and bring your left sole of foot into center to meet your right, and press the soles of your feet together into Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose. So if you want to make it a little bit more sensational, you can pull your feet in closer. If you want it a little bit more gentle, you can move your feet further away from you. So on an inhale, go nice and tall, shoulder blades glide down your back. On an exhale, hinge forward at those hips. And if this feels good, you can stay here, but I do invite you to take a little bit more of a restorative pose. So you tuck your forearms under your shins and you let the backs of your hand rest on the mat, palms face up, and just round forward. Let your head hang nice and heavy. The back of your neck is long, and there's no tension from your shoulders through your head. Taking nice and long, slow inhales and exhales, in and out through the nose. As you're ready, you can press up, untuck your arms, and meet upright. Take your hands to your knees, and you can close your knees like a little book. Then we'll transition facing the front of our mat, and we'll plant our feet hip-width apart. Extend your arms long in front of you. Plug your shoulders back into their sockets, and slowly roll down to your mat, vertebrae by vertebrae. Once you've made it to your mat, pull your right knee in and then your left knee into your chest. And find any movement that feels intuitive to you. So maybe it's going to be rocking back and forth. Maybe it's making circles with your knees. Maybe you want to inhale, pull your knees in closer, and on your exhales, extend your knees a little bit away from you. Just do whatever your body's asking for. If you've taken circles, reverse your circles. As you're ready, extend your right knee up, your right foot up to the ceiling, and grab onto either the outer edge of your foot, the ankle, or your shin. And then do the same with your left, grabbing the outer edge, ankle, or shin. And we'll find ourselves in happy baby. We don't need to pull with our arms. We can just let gravity do the work of opening our hips. If it feels nice, you can sway side to side, find some movement, but you can also stay still here. Relax your shoulders down toward the mat. Bring your right knee into your chest and then your left, and take any last movements that feel needed. Maybe rocking back and forth, side to side on your low back, and giving a little bit of a massage. Once you've gotten all the movement that you need today, lower your soles of the feet to the mat and extend your legs long to each corner of your mat. Let your arms rest naturally beside you, palms up. Let the back of your neck be long as the back of your head rests on the mat. Feel all of the places on your body where the mat is supporting you, and feel grounded on your mat. Here we'll take just a couple of minutes to relax and let all of the good work we did for our bodies soak on in. If thoughts come, and they will, you can let them drift on by. Now is not the time to attach ourselves. They'll be there later. Slowly start to deepen your breath, taking a bigger inhale, exhaling it completely, bringing awareness back to our breath. Start to introduce some subtle movement. You can wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, maybe start to take some circles with your wrists and your ankles. And when you're ready, extend your arms long above your head and your legs straight, and take a big stretch like you just woke up this morning. Keeping your eyes closed, roll to your right side into a fetal position and rest your head on your right arm. Take just a moment to rest here. As you're ready, keeping your eyes closed, push yourself back up into a seated position, facing the front of your mat. Find a comfortable seat and a tall spine. Before we go, I want to share the rest of Claudia Cummins' poem, and it reads, "Is it possible that you are just a simple creature, moving and watching and shining and breathing, just a little bubble of life floating through the cosmos, one small shining fragment of this great play of life? The answer is clear. You are all of this and more." So thinking about the stories that we might be telling ourselves, the things that just run through our mind on a loop, and then recognizing that really we're all of these other beautiful, wonderful things in the universe. We're more than our thoughts. They don't define us. We're all of it and much more. Maybe a thought to take off our mat into the rest of our evening tonight. To close our practice, we can bring our hands together, our palms together at heart center, pressing our thumbs into our sternum into thumbs. You can dip your chin and maybe say namaste, which means the love and light in me honors the love and light in you. And bow forward, namaste. Slowly, as you're ready, you can blink your eyes open and come back to your space.